so good to see you.
It's so good
Thank you
to
for
see
talking
you.
to me.
I'm delighted to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you.
Here with Elizabeth Warren, today making a big announcement. We need to get rid of the filibuster.
There you go. You know, look, my view is we can't play by two sets of rules. That is, when the Republicans are out of power, they use the filibuster every way possible to block what President Obama was trying to do. Then they get the White House, and all of a sudden those rules are out the window. And they just want to jam through now as many judges as they can, no matter how unqualified they are. And I'm just tired of two sets of rules. So we get the White House, we have the Congress. Then if the Republicans are going to start the same kind of blocking actions they did against President Obama, I think it's time to fight back.
Time to get rid of it. You know, the other thing too, if you are president, and let's say, fortunately, you would have a Democratic Congress, would you expect that equal branch to behave as a rubber stamp for your White House the way they do, or would you expect them to be co-equal partners in governance?
I would expect them to be co-equal partners in governance. But here's the thing. What I want to do right now is I think this is the reason we have to run on core principles. For example, I talk a lot about a wealth tax.
Of course.
You know, there's a tax on the richest fortunes above $50 million. Says if we tax those fortunes just 2%, just on that, we'd have enough money to pay for universal child care, universal pre-K, universal pre-pre-K, universal 3K for all of our babies age 0 to 5. Now, that's something that would be transformative for families. You know, in half the states in America, college is less expensive than a year in daycare. So you run on that, you make it a big point, you get elected on it, then Congress works with the president to make it happen. That's how I see this.
No, that's very, very important. Speaking of legislation in Congress, you have pledged to sign H.R. 40. You have.
Yeah.
Why is that important, you think? Why is it important now, especially this year in this presidential election? We're talking about it more than ever.
You know, I am glad to see us start to have a broader national conversation. We've gone way too long. We describe this country as a country built on liberty and freedom and never talk about the fact that it was built on the backs of enslaved peoples. And until we address that head on, we don't make the changes we need to make.
And one of the things you said in your speech today, I know, and this also makes the argument of filibuster, what it took a century to get a federal law against lynching.
So, you know, that's really the point. You look at the filibuster, and I'm going to talk about that in my speech, that the first law against lynching, federal law against lynching, was proposed in 1918. It passed in 2018. And why did it take 100 years? It actually passed the House multiple times. It got brought up nearly 200 times. But a core group of racists could use the filibuster to block it over and over. That's not the America we want to be.
The Attorney General basically wants us just to all go home and everything's okay, A-okay. Do you accept that?
No, I don't. I don't. And, you know, this goes back to the question when we talk about H.R. 40, that it's not just the foundation of how this country was built. It's all the years of government-sponsored discrimination in the interim. Think about that. That up until the 1960s, that it was official federal government policy to subsidize the purchase of housing for white people and to discriminate against black people. That's what redlining was all about. And we can't simply say, oh, sorry, made a mistake, and ignore the fact that that has had generational impacts that are still felt today. We got to be willing to unpack this and take a hard look at how we got to where we are and what we can do about it going forward.
No one has articulated or dealt with the wealth gap better than you, the issue of banks and big money. You know, and I think about this. I'd like for you to even help explain, because, you know, a lot of people are looking at this college cheating scandal. A lot of
Yeah.
people really upset about that, including, you know, poor and middle class whites who never could have had that opportunity.
That's right.
Can you show us and draw the relationship between the angst and passion around that college cheating scandal and what happens with the 1% in these big banks? I mean, they're all part of the same fraternity, aren't they?
It is, because it's a fundamental mindset that says for a thin slice at the top, they don't have to play by the same set of rules as everybody else. You know, I graduated from a commuter college. It cost $50 a semester, and it opened 1 million doors for me. I was deeply grateful to have that chance. I became a special needs teacher because that chance was out there. Today, we live in a world that just says, if you're born into privilege, baby, the road has been paved for you, smooth for you, and for everybody else, just keep scratching. Even those opportunities that were there for a kid like me have shrunk up. We don't have that $50 commuter college anymore for kids. Instead, it's you need an education and you're on your own. Good luck to you. That's not the America we want to be. That's not the America of our best values. We can do better than that.
Should Joe Biden run?
That's up to Joe Biden.
Okay, okay. Lastly, I'll ask you the question that is asked of every man.
Sure.
Would you pledge to put a woman on your ticket?
Listen, I think I'll take exactly what I want. I put a woman on my ticket. I put a man on my ticket. What I want is somebody who'll be in the fight. I want somebody who'll be a partner. Because listen, I get this. The rich and the powerful, they ain't going to give it up easy. They're not just going to hand it over. It's going to be a fight every step of the way. But I'll tell you this. I'll take on those corporate CEOs. I'll take on the politicians. I'll take on the money. And I just want a partner to come along with me on that in the fight.
Congratulations. So good to see you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for
So
being
good
here
to
at
see
National
you.
Action
Thank
Network
you.
Convention.
Thank
Pleasure to
you.
talk to you.
Good to talk to you.
All right, take care. All right.